Welcome back to Berlin. Welcome to Kreuzberg. I'm going to go and have a little DDR adventure today. You can't come to Germany, you can't come to Berlin without going to see the old East Berlin. See what's left of the old DDR. Right across the bridge there, the Oberbaumbrücke, which was one of the borders between West and East Berlin. We're going to head over the bridge and go and see what's left of the old DDR in Berlin. Let's go. In fact, before we head over the bridge, we've got behind me Kreuzberg, which a lot of people say is this super diverse, culturally enriched sort of area. To me, it's just like a bit of a shithole, basically. It's an absolute mess. It's just like graffiti everywhere, some daft park with rubbish, little statues, look, old West German man, I imagine. Is he West German? He's my new friend, look, check him out. But yeah, literally around here it is a bit scruffy, to be fair. Last time I was here I went down over that side. Literally every surface is graffitied on. It's absolutely off it. Yeah, all the stickers that are on these railings are sort of like a sign of what this area is like. So you've got a CSD Stat AFD one. I think it's some sort of anti-AFD sticker. But literally you just have all kinds of like anonymous money. Delay means death. Climate action now. Fuck Putin. There was even one somewhere that had a trans person peed here. That's exactly what you expect around here. That is modern day Berlin, modern day Kreuzberg. It's the most left wing area I think I've ever been to. In fact, here on the Oberbaum Bridge, they used to have a little bit of an issue back in the day. You see, the bridge right here, with the west side over there and the east side here, used to have the Berlin Wall running all the way along this riverfront. Because it ran all the way along the riverfront, this whole area was East Berlin and East controlled. And there's all memorials on the other side, which are dedicated to people who went into the water, got into difficulty and drowned, and no one ever came to save them. Partly because the East German border guards wouldn't do anything about it, and the West German border guards couldn't do anything about it either. So they basically just used to watch people drown in the Spree. That was until they decided to have a little agreement in place to prevent it from happening. But yeah, literally all along this area you'll see these little information boards. I mean, this one's about some guy, whoever he is, Anton Walter. There you go, the refugee was shot on the Spree while swimming towards West Berlin on the riverbank. The amount of people who died trying to cross this river bridge to get from the east and get to freedom over there in the west. And on this side of the Spree is East Side Gallery. What was once the old Berlin Wall is now a big open air art museum. Like everything else in this city, the area where Communist East and the Free West met, those two opposing ideologies, well, now you get things like this. Brezhnev and Honecker, the old East German leader, having a quick kiss and a cuddle. Who said man love didn't exist in the Soviet Union and the old Eastern Bloc? I did think for a second there as I was walking along that they had a mural of Yevgeny Prigozhin, the old Wagner PMC leader from Russia. But then I was thinking, why on earth they'd have a memorial to him, a career criminal mercenary leader? But you never know in this city who the hell they bloody celebrate. We literally bloody anyone. Or is it the Pope? I'm not actually sure. Might be the old Pope. It definitely isn't Prigozhin. That would just be weird if it was him. Frankfurt Tor. Let's head down Karl-Marx-Allee. Check it out. Check out old Frankfurt Tor. The massive domes on the top. Real classic socialist Stalinist era architecture. This is literally one of the biggest avenues in the whole city. It's absolutely fabulous. It's all the way down. You can see the little TV tower in the background. But this would have been like the prime avenue of East Berlin, the old Communist East. This would have been the pride and joy. They've all came down here. All the nice apartments for all the citizens, party officials, and little celebrations and all that sort of stuff. This is literally peak communistical architecture. Probably some of the best you'll ever find as well. I mean, we think of sort of like the 60s and 70s rubbish they used to build in Britain. I was like, misery council blocks. How did these lot come up with all this? We've been absolutely diddled, that's what we've been done. Wonder what good little communist goods this place used to have back in the day. And it was an old little communist market. The little East German chocolate, coffee and all that sort of business. Yeah, check this out as well though. I don't know if it'll show on one of these doors here. Head down this little alleyway. 1952 it says somewhere. Oh, it's not above these doors. Above some of these doors it'll have the date 1952 from the year they were built. Oh, this whole area was just like bombed or destroyed, rebuilt during the sort of communist era. So you also get these like still sort of alright apartments, but not, you know, prime apartments like these ones are. There's disappointment on Karl-Marx-Allee. This thing right here in the middle of the road. There used to be some like copper piece of art, some art installation which is now gone. Although it could have been stolen, which, let's be fair, if you had copper in the middle of a roundabout in the UK, someone would fucking steal it almost instantly. So I don't know what's happened to it. It was here last year when I was here. Literally, on the little bit in the middle. First disappointment in Berlin, it's unbelievable. Guess who else I found here as well? Not only is it that little Karl Marx look. Karl Marx hiding in the trees. looking a bit noncy. Got a bit of a Rolf Harris look going on. Might have to stay clear of him. Yeah, I'm disappointed about losing the copper artwork. Hopefully Cafe Moscow's still got the bit I want to see on it. Yeah, I've now decided my dream is to get an apartment at the LKW Tatra Motokov apartment building. Get one right up there with a balcony. That's what I'm going to do from now on. Let's try and get an apartment with a Tatra Motokov building. I think it's some old Czechoslovakian brand or maybe a Soviet one, I'm not sure. But yeah, get a top floor apartment in there and live out some sort of weird DDR fantasy dream life, even though it doesn't exist anymore. But nevertheless, we can still pretend in our minds that the DDR is with us. Coming up as well, I think, Cafe Moscow. Right here, there's a running event on. On have taken over Cafe Moscow. The Swiss have taken over Cafe Moscow. Unbelievable. But there's even a place over there, look, called, absolutely no idea what it says, Mocha Milch und something bar. Totally empty, but once upon a time it might have been a sort of nice little eatery back in the old DDR days. Well, in fact, actually, On haven't taken over Cafe Moscow. The next door, so the Swiss haven't won that one. Let's go and check out what I want to see on old Cafe Moscow. Right here. Cafe Moscow. Back in the old East German days, they used to have loads of restaurants of cuisines from around the old sort of communist bloc. This was one of them. It was like, you know, Russian, Soviet cuisine. There'd have been like Polish ones, Yugoslav ones, Czech ones, you name it. It'd have been all over the place. But they have on it the best East German mosaic. Look at it, it's the best mosaic in all of Germany. All these people depicting the people of, you can see St. Basil's Cathedral, the Kremlin, all the sort of Soviet people, all the people of the old Eastern Bloc, all represented here on this fantastic little mosaic. Get a little touch of the mosaic. Look at that. We're now officially ingrained in old East German food. I touched the greatest in East Germany. Okay then, second disappointment in Berlin. That place right there would be the old Kino, the old cinema, and it's now, thanks to the city authorities, all behind scaffolding. So that's that one off the list then, isn't it? Look at this, all these Berlin city officials and the Bundesrepublik Deutschland with their sort of western ways, ruining some of the best buildings you'll ever see. Ruining it. They're ruining their country with this new modern rubbish. I don't know whether that's disappointed me more or the copper thing disappearing from the air roundabout. Either way, they're both horrendous. To get across the road without being killed or shouted at by someone. I don't know how particular the Germans are about crossing the road on green men. Absolutely crazy here. And all these cycle lanes as well they have. If you like walking a cycle lane when there's people around on bikes, it'll go absolutely ballistic at you for like no reason. I think there's that stereotype of the stickler for the rules. It's still there, still ingrained in them. It hasn't gone away. They're not as free and open-minded as us British. They still have a lot to learn from us. And there's another one, another East German DDR mosaic. Check it out. Got some soldiers, cyclists, like family and some kids. This is like the hotbed of mosaics. East Berlin, that's where it's at. I think it even extends on this. Yeah, there's some more up there. We've got a scientist, some other guy, probably doing some sort of official work. This is the mecca of communist East Berlin. I'm pretty sure as well, just to point this out, this building used to have war written on it or something. I can't remember whether it was like the old statistics building. I know it used to be around here somewhere. But, once again, they are gentrifying the place with this new modern buildings. We don't want new modern. We want DDR buildings. That's what we want. That's what we used to have. The statue of Ernst Thälmann, the founder of the Communist Party, the man who was put in solitary confinement for 11 years before the Nazis eventually shot him, on Hitler's personal orders as well. But he does have a rather grand statue with a lot of Antifa trans graffiti on it. I'm sure he might have been proud of that, I don't know. Might not have been his thing back in those days. But apparently in this area as well there used to be a big massive statue of Lenin. Big huge one. For some reason they took it down and buried it somewhere outside the city. There's another thing they've ruined. But we've still got Thälmann. Good old Ernst Thälmann, eh? 11 years in solitary confinement. Only to get a bullet in the head. I think I might start liking the old Berlin life. Getting a beer, walking around in the sun. I swear this is all people ever do in this city. Just drink beer and smoke. Never seen anyone go to work. Pretty sure drinking and sitting in the street is literally a full-time job. Could get used to it. Literally earlier on when I was on the S-Bahn, there was a guy got on with a samurai sword as if it was totally normal. It's like some of the characters you get around here are absolutely wild. Yeah, nice sunny day for once. Although if the wind went it'd be even better. Have a few beers. Loving it. God, I don't know what I make of this city. It's freezing cold this morning and now it's just baking hot. I'm going to somehow manage to be cold and get sunburn all in one day, which is ridiculous, but Berlin for you. The old Stasi HQ here in East Berlin. Just off Karl-Marx-Allee. There it is. The feared Stasi, the DDR. This is where they all operated from, right here. There is a prison a bit further up, but you can't film in there. You've got to have like a sort of guided tour. Yeah, look. Revolution and the Mauer Fall. Oh, there we are. Little old East Germany. I have been in this place before, but thought I'd just come back to show you. Check the little facade out on the front of the entrance. Apparently that was built to stop people from sort of seeing people who were entering or exiting the building or something like that. I think before some of these buildings might not have been here at the time it was made, so you could get a clear view from the main road, but then they built this to sort of provide a bit more cover. Yeah.
vereinbarte Kompromisse zur Weiterführung der Entspannung für möglich, wenn keiner der Teilnehmerstaaten auf Kosten anderer nach einseitigen Vorteilen strebe. Die Absicht der Außenminister der nordeuropäischen Staaten, für ein substanzielles und ausgewogenes Ergebnis des Treffens einzutreten, werde sicher ihren Platz finden.
Just look how the offices haven't changed. Still that classy brown, and more brown. Exactly like they were all them years ago. The old desks, come on. Telephones, typewriters, little filing cabinet. Keep all the records of all citizens in the DDR, amongst other things. Yeah, so that was the Stasi Museum. Not quite sure how the film's going to turn out, given that some old woman who works in there collared me for filming. Apparently you need permission. Seems to be a thing in Germany, like everywhere you go. But who'd have thought it, eh? Employees of a Stasi museum acting like the Stasi is ridiculous. Anyway, there is one more place I might go to. It's a bit further out though, and it's getting quite late. And I've walked about 40 kilometres, and I'm tired. And I'm flying somewhere new tomorrow, so probably won't be going there, but yeah, it's been a nice little tour around old East Berlin. So if I don't add anything else to this, then I'll see you in the next country.